it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
All right, everyone. Hopefully you get the sound now. All right, Dawn. If you hear me, Dawn, just please sign on and we'll get this show on the road. Today's guest is Dawn Wagner Trudeau, and she's definitely one of great guests. She's going to come on and we're going to talk about some hot topics and some alternative solutions. Let's see. Let's get this out of here. And bring Dawn on for various reasons, so we can talk about many things. And she's highly decorated, qualified, a professional in the medical field, and she's going to come on and talk to us about many things. And today, I believe we're going to talk about some alternative solutions when we're talking about the liner of your gut. And so it's going to be pretty good. So I'm just waiting for her to sign on, get on the link, and we'll be off and running. The So this week, I have this Thursday I'm going to come on. It's an unannounced podcast. No, it's announced now, but we're going to talk about the West Point Academy, and it's been a topic about they got a Ku Klux Klan symbol of a soldier, and it's there at West Point. So I'm going to talk about that on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's many African American soldiers that went through there. Many African soldiers that went to war and died. Um, you know, in the armed services, many African Americans that were prisoners of war, and it just goes on and on. Uh, so the Ku Klux Klan, a very well-known organization, in all the devastation they have done through the U.S. history when it comes to African Americans, and it goes through Capital One murder. They murder many people, many people, intimidated many Americans, and to see that we have their name displayed on a plaque that goes back since 1965. So that's my lifetime. And for that plaque to be placed on West Point, just crazy. Just no regard to African Americans whatsoever. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday. CNN had posted an article. There's many other articles coming out as we speak, and it's in discussion. And this was brought to me by a dear friend of mine, Frank Slaughter, and I didn't know about it. I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. Always on the internet, and I missed it. So I'm definitely going to talk about it on Thursday. And Friday is definitely a dynamic duo coming on the Really Charlie podcast, and we're going to talk to them. It's Anthony and Jill Cordova, who has a podcast on Fireside, and they're on every week, just like I am, and they're talking about different things from relationships and various other things. So we're going to talk to them face to face, get to communicate with them, and get their opinion about different things, and how it is as a tandem on your own podcast. So that must be kind of fun, just doing that and getting to agree or disagree or agree on many things, and it's real nice. So I can't wait to have them on. And that's what I like about the podcast, is that we have, previous guests come on and they introduce me to their friends, and then I get other guests, and we go on, and my scheduling becomes a whole lot easier when you offer me a guest and I reach out to them, and then they're so willing to come on the podcast. And I love that, because I'm meeting people, all over the place. And even today's guest today, Dawn, I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't because of the podcast. So, and my friend Anna, who was on the podcast. So it goes full circle. And we just keep bringing people in and talking to them, and basically give them their flowers while they're standing. So, all right, I don't know what's going on with Dawn. Gotta get her on here. Dawn had a rough week. She was a little sick, so she's better. She's feeling well. So, we're gonna get to wrap with her and get to talk to her about some things. And as they, talk about hot topics, former President Trump is really in the news waves, different things going on. There's that up and coming football season's coming up, starting tomorrow night. The LA Rams and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills is kind of bringing that dynasty back. Growing up, they were a great team, and they kind of slowly got back to what they have now, where they're going to be one of those teams that are going to be feared for a lot of years. And when Jim Kelly was running the Buffalo Bills, they were feared. Buffalo was that team you had to beat. They went to 4 Super Bowls. I believe it was 4 straight, or at least 3 straight, but they definitely went. And, so they're back. They're back on the top tier and making people notice them, from the quarterback to the coach, good coach, to the receivers, to the defense. Can't rule that defense out. Definitely doing the right thing. So, but after this podcast, we're going to have another a guest on. So I'm going to have 2 podcasts, one back to back. At 7:00, we'll have Gabby Anderson, who's a published author. She has a book that's coming out in January 2023. You can pre-order the book. And so we're going to talk about her book. And that's right after this podcast. So stay tuned with me. I'm going to be on for a little bit, until at least 8:00. And all right, Dawn, I'm going to resend you this link. Try it again. All right, let's see. So, and I talk about Gabby Anderson. It'll be on. She's got a book that's really something, and I can't wait until it comes in. But like I said, we got to wait until January. Got to pre-order it. I'm going to put that link during the podcast on, and go from, and I just want to support her. All right, Dawn, I resent it. I'm going to try to copy it on my phone. I'll send it to your phone also. Get this show on the road. All right, let's see. And feel free. I got Fernando on there, my longtime friend. Anna on here. Deb, I see you. Deb Ramus, constant supporter of the Really Charlie podcast. Thank you for joining me. if you guys feel that you want to have someone on this podcast, just let me know. We'll definitely get them on, with the podcast. And even if it's you, you got something you want to talk about, let me know. I'll put you on this podcast. I see my friend Tony Williams today, and he got a job where I'm working, and he's ready to come on the podcast. And Tony Williams was a New Bedford Whaler, great, basketball. I believe he played football and baseball. But he's definitely can't wait to get him on here. Big Tony. All these years I known Tony, I never knew that Red was his father, who passed away several years ago. Just never knew Red's last name until a few years back. All right. Without further ado, Don Wagner, Trudeau.
Hey, Charlie.
What's going on, Slacker? What took you so long?
I couldn't figure out how to get in. The technical difficulties, right?
Yeah, you're fired. You're fired.
I'm all done. That's it.
As I tell Russell Ramus, you're fired. So what's going on, man? You sound better.
Yeah, getting over a bad cold. But yeah, I'm feeling much better, and ready to talk. Bear with me with my raspy voice here, and I'll do the best I can. I got my water here, so
that's right.
I'm good to go. Yep.
Keep drinking. Actually, I forgot to bring my water to the studio, as I say. So if I do get up, I'm going to put you on the screen.
Absolutely.
Which I would.
Yep.
And just feel free to just talk it up,
Have an internet problem.
Yeah.
What else, right? What else?
Yeah.
What happens when you go live?
Yeah. All right. So Don and I have talked for a couple of weeks now, and we talked about this podcast, and it's hot topics with alternative solutions. Alternative solutions for your body, things that you can do to make yourself better, healthier, wiser. I've been trying to get her to kind of create a fountain of youth in her store, so we can just go and get some water right there from, fill up our water bottles with some water that makes us younger. But
yeah,
believe it or not, if we drink water, we drink plenty of it, we will become younger, because water is very good for our skin. Let's see. Stephen Avila says, "Hi, Charlie, Dead Ramus. I just wanted to let you know she's my cousin. Her mom and dad are sisters and brothers. No biggie. Just letting you know." Good job, man. Look at that. Got it all in the family here on the Really Charlie podcast. Awesome. All right. So what do we have today? Don, we're going to go up until around 6:45 today. So,
okay. All right.
6:50, right around there, just so I can prepare for the next podcast. So
absolutely. And sorry to everyone for hopping on here a little late. Kind of had a little technical difficulties, but I think we're good to go now that I'm on. I just wanted to share that this topic tonight is about gut health, and how important it is. Even for myself, just getting over, a cold and stuff. Everybody gets sick, and how do you take care of yourself? So this is what I like to talk to you about tonight. And anybody that has any questions, love to hear from them.
All right. Now what gut control and gut strength, as I call it, there's different things you can take. They have things that are over the counter, different pills. Do you know of any natural foods that could help that out?
Yeah, I think even first, before we even jump into right into what do I take? I think the most important question to ask is, how do you know that your gut isn't healthy? How do you know, like, what are the signs and symptoms of like poor gut health?
Good.
Um,
Yes.
like for me right now, how, getting over a cold, obviously, like there must be something going on, for me to catch a cold. How do you get over that cold? It all lies in your gut, your immune system. It's our second brain, and there's a lot of things that happen in the gut that we're not aware of. Sometimes we're not in tune with our bodies, and we don't even know what's happening. And by the time we find out, it's usually like there might be bathroom issues,
Hmm.
there might be constipation, diarrhea, there might be, maybe it's not even that. It can start before that. And before you can even get in to see somebody to find out what actually is going on, you have to acknowledge that there's a problem. Um, Most people I see come to me after they've been to a numerous amount of doctors. Nobody can figure out what's going on. What makes me any special than anybody else? It's just testing, just knowing the questions to ask and paying attention and having the knowledge. There's certain tests that our doctors can't perform. When we talked about this last week, you know, by the time they perform the tests, it's it's already too late. We're already like the damage is already done when we get to that point. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the way our healthcare system is going. It's an unfortunate, but the good thing I can say is, pay attention to our what's going on in our bodies. That's the first thing. And if you don't know and you're already at a point that, I got brain fog, I can't think clearly. Um, I every time I eat something, I have this weird reaction. I get heartburn. I have
Hmm.
arthritis. These are all signs and symptoms of possible gut issues. And I created a list of things that are number the top number one things that create leaky gut. And if you have had any of these things, then chances are you have leaky gut and you need
Hmm.
to fix it. And we can talk about how we fix it in the alternatives, because that's what this is about, hot topics with alternative solutions.
That's right.
So we need to have the solution. So if you have a leaky gut, um, if you've taken any NSAIDs your entire life, if you've had an NSAID,
What
non,
is that?
it's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory um, medicine like ibuprofen,
Okay.
Motrin, uh, Aleve. If you've ever taken that, ever, some people take that every day because they have uh, aches and pains. Well, I hate to tell you, you're doing yourself a disservice because you probably have leaky gut. It's tearing away the lining. I'm not trying to knock down the pharmaceutical company here,
Yep.
but unfortunately, it's going to create a problem for your gut if you're taking this. Uh, any kind of intestinal infection, ever, chances are you may have a leaky gut. Indigestion of allergenic foods. What the heck does that mean? That means like foods that you may be sensitive to. It doesn't mean that, I ate a piece of bread and my face swelled up or my throat closed up. It just means that maybe you pay attention to those signs that you're irritated some way, whatever it is. Alcohol. Anybody ever drink alcohol, you're going to have a leaky gut. It tears down the lining of your intestines,
Hmm.
low fiber, stress. I mean, over the past 2 years, I would say probably everybody has a leaky gut with what's been going on. Um, how do you manage it? Some people are managing it day by day and not even knowing that they're doing it. They're taking probiotics, they're taking all kinds of stuff, supplements, and they're just skimming by. It doesn't mean that they're in any better shape than you or I. It just means that they're taking nutrition and they're doing things that are just keeping them afloat. But
Hmm.
there's more that you can do. And I
The
see Anna wrote a comment here.
I'm so glad you're doing this live. My grandson been dealing with a lot of issues. Doctors just want meds. What about nutrition?
Hmm.
Um, so,
Um, yeah, I think, that's the most important thing when we go to the doctors. Um, I've seen over the last 2 weeks more so, there's a lot of people coming in to see me at Ageless Wellness Medicine.
mhm.
Um, so they're coming in and they're seeing me for issues like constipation, diarrhea, um, brain fog. They can't eat certain foods. They're having problems with hormones, thyroid issues. Like I said, arthritis. They're in more pain. There's a multitude of things that are happening, and we go to the doctors. And like Anna, you take your grandson to the doctors. And what would the doctor say? You can go to the doctor, and they're going to say, let's what? Do a blood test?
Hmm.
What are we testing for? Why are we testing? We can't just make up a diagnosis here. We got to have a diagnosis before we can even test. So, how do you do that? Well, symptoms. Well, let's just say, for example, say, Anna, you sent your grandson. I'm just hypothetically saying this. Say she takes her grandson to the doctors and they say, what's his problem? And she says, well, he's constipated. Let's just say that was the case. And they say, okay, well, there's really not much we can do. The only thing that we can do is we can give you, stool softeners, Metamucil, go home, and that's pretty much it. Why aren't they going to test? What are they testing for? They can't make up that diagnosis. What are they going to do the blood work on? They have no idea. So that's where I come in. I do blood work. I don't have to go by the insurance because unfortunately, when you do come to me, or fortunate, you do have to pay. Um, I don't take insurance because I would be binded by what tests I can perform and what I can't perform.
Hmm.
Um, I do have um, advanced care card, and that helps people. But they come in, they get tested. I do a gut health and I do a gut zoomer. Um, what is that? Well, it tests to see if a person has any kind of gluten sensitivity, wheat sensitivity.
Yep.
Automatically take out of their diet anything that is wheat based. No rice, no pasta, no bread. We take that stuff out. The doctor is not going to tell you what to take out of the child's diet or what to take out of the adult's diet because that's not their job. That's not what they're trained to do. They're trained to look for disease and have an ICD code to label the patient with, and then they can test. And unfortunately, it's kind of a little backwards and it's a little sad. But like I said to Anna, and I've said it to other patients, our primary care specialists, they're there for a reason, and they're wonderful. If there's a medical emergency and you need to have a surgery, by golly, I would go to Boston Children's Hospital, and I would definitely want to have surgery for my child there. Definitely. But if you're just looking for um, an answer to figure out what these struggles are, um, it's a process of elimination. And that's one thing that I do, elimination diet. That's the first step, very first thing, elimination diet. Maybe you're coming in and you have brain fog. I'm sorry, you're going to have an elimination diet. I find out the foods that you don't like, and we go from there. I don't sit and give you all the foods you can have. I tell you the foods that you don't like and the foods that you can't have.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen.
He says, I feel like to chip in. I could tell you that it's a berberine is very good for you and healthy for your gut bacteria.
It is, but you have to, it is very good, but there's also berberine is good for people that have bowel issues.
Mm-hmm.
If they have respiratory issues, though, there's other stuff that you can use. If they have brain fog, there's other things that you can use. Berberine is an excellent, and that's one of the things that I use. The problem is we just don't throw things at the wall and try to see what sticks.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, because then you can get into the problem with, cold tea and honey and raw organic honey. These are excellent, Stephen. These are absolutely excellent. I love it. Love it. And I'm glad.
Yeah.
Probiotics is another great thing. Excellent. But you gotta take the stuff out that's causing the problem. That's the other thing you have to do as well. And a lot of people, they go through life not knowing that they even have a problem because maybe they're taking the berberine, the honey, the probiotics, but they never took the stuff out. So what's happening is that they have an open wound on the inside that's not healing. And they're just taking this stuff and it's just keeping it at bay. Just keeping it at bay. And this is where infection comes in too, colds and infections, and learning how to take the stuff out and put it back into your diet the right way is important. It's a process.
Don, how do the viewers get in touch with you on Facebook? How would we do that?
So they can go on to Ageless. I think it's under Ageless Beauty Medical Spa. We're in the process of trying to change everything over from Ageless Beauty to Ageless Wellness. It's been kind of a little bit, I'm working with my marketer, but it's under Ageless Beauty Medical Spa. So you can get in touch with me there, or you can get in touch with me at Ageless Wellness Medicine.com or at Gmail.
Ageless.
You want me to fill it in here? I can write it in the chat. Ageless. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Ageless Wellness Medicine.com. And is also, did I spell it right? I'm writing quick here. Ageless Wellness Medicine at Gmail.
Okay.
And the other way is you can call us too. I have 2 numbers that you can reach me at. The front is where Matteo and Anna, they're out at the front desk, and the CBD part of the store, the Your CBD store in Tiverton. And the number for there is 401-266-6683. And then the Ageless phone number is 774-264-9600.
Great.
And what I do is I do the testing. I test with blood work. I test with I do a stool test. I actually have some wellness plans that are going to be coming out very shortly. We're putting them together and putting them on my website. And It's very comprehensive. I work with a girl in Mansfield. Her name is Linda Stearns, and she owns Inner Health Colonics, Hydrocolonics. I think that's another great way to get a hydrocolonics and talk to Linda. And then we do stuff with taking the food out, putting the right probiotics, not the antibiotics. That's another issue. That's another problem in itself. But yeah, we take the food out, put the right honey, berberine, all this stuff, probiotics. There's a whole. It's very precise to the person's flora, what's going on in their gut, and that's why I do a stool test. It's a very comprehensive stool test. I hate to be the person that tests them. I wouldn't want the job, but I'll tell you, what happens is I order the test and I have the kit, the whole package go to your house. It's mailed to your house, and all the instructions are in there. And then you send out the stool in the mail, the way that it says how to send it out. And then it usually takes about 14 days to get the results back. Sometimes it can take a little longer, and it checks for a lot of things. It checks for the microbiome of the gut.
Mm-hmm.
It checks to see if you have parasites. It checks for a lot of things. And then from there, now we have a comprehensive plan, what we want to get rid of and what we want to save in the gut, or what we want to build up. So that's why I say what Stephen said was excellent. I love it. But we also need to know what's going on in there too.
Yes, exactly. The got Carol. Let's see, where's Carol? Carol says, "Good talk, because I really need to get the help." So, Carol, as you see in the comment section, there's a website. There's an email if you do email, and best of all, there's a number where you can reach on, and the number's right here on the screen: 774-264-9600. And feel free. You may want those one-on-one conversations with her, so call the number, or basically go to the website, send an email. But Tiffin is not far from far away. It's reachable. It's very simple to get to, the store, and so. But all right, let's see. I had one other question.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if I can't answer them now, I can get back to you and get you the answer.
Anna says, "I have seen in person amazing things that Dawn has done to help people."
Thanks,
exactly.
Anna.
Yeah.
There's another thing I do want to just say, and this may be one of my next hot topics in the future. I think it's super critical to be in tune with our bodies, to be mindful and be able to listen to our bodies. We're always in a rush. We're always having to go somewhere, do something, help someone, be somewhere. We're always in like the mode to go. And this is great, but sometimes you just need to settle down, meditate, and listen to what your body's telling you. And, it's even like when you ever like eat too much and you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have eaten that last bite, but I couldn't resist it. But your stomach's like, it's heavy, So it's just listening to your body and being mindful. And what I like to share is what mindfulness means when you're listening to yourself. Um, you cannot heal any parts of your body if you do not have the mind body connection.
Hmm.
So you can injure yourself, be hurt, get physical help, and will always be in physical pain. There's a piece that is missing in our society with our medical doctors. The piece is there's the spiritual piece of your higher being, whatever that high being may be.
Hmm.
Okay. Your higher self of you. And then there's the mindfulness. And what that means is paying attention to what our bodies are trying to tell us. And that's the way that I help to heal. Well, I help you to help heal your body, mind, body, and spirit. It's
Okay.
critical.
Yes, it is.
Siri here.
Whoops. The a lot of times it's very important that if you don't know yourself, how are you going to ask those questions that you need to? If you don't know that something is wrong with you, um, and you just kind of go with the flow, usually what happens is that's when a person gets very, very sick over time. And God forbid, but it could be something very fatal. Um, I tell this story all the time that I was never going to get my colon checked at all whatsoever. I didn't think it was needed. I really, um, really didn't think that it was something that I needed to do. However, I did it, and I think my physician just caught me at a good day. And as she caught me at a good day, I said, "All right, I'll do it," and I did it. After the surgery, I was informed that I had 7 polyps. And what I'm getting at is that something that I would have never really paid attention to. Now, just think of it. If I didn't go, I wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have been removed, and they would have just built up. So as time goes on, 7 leads to maybe 14 or 21, and it just goes on and on. Which may build up to be something cancerous,
Mm-hmm.
and then here I am thinking that I'm good enough to last a long time, and I was hurting myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then basically the most complicated thing about the whole procedure is drinking that nasty drink.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's why I'm telling you to go see Linda, because you don't
mhm,
have to do that. She's
yeah,
amazing. You don't have to drink no drink.
good.
But yeah,
And
you're right. You're absolutely right.
it also led to some of my other friends and family doing the same thing. So getting the procedure done. So I think all in all, what I went through, being the guinea pig, I was able to help, 2 to 3 others, which is which was nice. But
Absolutely.
the just want to end it, not end it, but I want to mention this comment. Steven says, "Thank you. You gave me all I need to know. Get a hold of me. I'm gonna go lift some weights, and I'll be in touch with you, Charlie. Thanks for chiming. What to say? Thanks for a charming meeting tonight. Love you. Love you, Steve. Good
Yeah.
dude. Always checking on me. Always doing the right thing.
What a great
Um,
guy.
yeah. And so, all right. Let's put Linda's information up here.
Oops, it's inner health, not Heath. Spelt it wrong there, quick.
In the hell. All right. I'll try to correct it.
Excuse me.
Let's see.
Yeah, So I'm really glad that you mentioned that too, because there's people out there that just don't know, what the problem is. And, I'm seeing more and more kids there, they're depressed, and adults too, not just kids, but adults. And they're saying,
Yes.
you know, um, I'm depressed and I don't know why. A lot of that is gut health. Your
Mm-hmm.
your micronutrients, your macronutrients, if that's off, your body can't run good. You
Mm-hmm.
can't put water in your gas tank and expect it to run good. You know, you have to put the right fuel in, and you have to check it. And, you hear a noise, you pay attention to your car, and you hear the things, lights flashing. You don't just keep driving. You got to fix them, because if
True.
not, it's going to break down.
Exactly. The let's see. Well, I definitely I love the topic. I learned something, and I'm gonna definitely reach out to Linda and see what. But before I reach out to her, I know I have to end up going to see you about the melting and get that done.
Yep.
Also, so we're gonna do that. The while you're here, I want to talk to the audience and myself and Dawn. We're gonna do this. You know, we're gonna do this on a weekly basis. The day may change, as you know. That Wednesday's the Really Charlie podcast, so we want to get a day during the week that we can definitely have Dawn on here, um, and get her on here quite often, so you guys can build a relationship, have some communications, send some questions to her, whether it's before the show. And I'm only saying all the information that I put you in the comments. Grab that stuff. You may think you may have a question, but don't want to kind of put it out there right now. But go ahead, send an email, have a conversation, mention it to Dawn, and then the next show we can bring those issues up, and basically just live and learn off each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna pick Dawn's brain. We're gonna make all that higher education that she has. We're gonna put it to work, and that's why she's here. And I hope we continue to do this for a long time.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right.
Really, Charlie?
Yeah, really, Charlie. So, Dawn, we're just about the end here.
Sure.
I'm gonna play this little commercial during this podcast.
It's the Really Charlie podcast, a weekly show with the one person to make you say, "Really, Charlie?" on the Really Charlie podcast. Tune in.
So you and I are gonna touch bases this weekend, whatever, square out tomorrow, next week's date,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll come to everyone live, and I know you have some things coming up in the next month, too, so we're gonna square that away, and I have some ideas for that also, where we can kind of bring someone on the screen with you and basically kind of have a discussion about whatever, hot topics, alternative solutions, So, all right, Dawn, let me square away my next podcast.
Absolutely, Charlie.
You have any questions, get a hold of me, text me, whatever. And everyone, please continue to stay tuned with the Really Charlie podcast with Dawn Trudeau. And she definitely, as you heard, she's definitely qualified to give you the advice that you need. So let's continue on and search and find her on Facebook and start building that relationship now.
Thanks,
All
Charlie.
right, my dear.
Have
Take
a
care.
great evening. Thank you to everyone.
All right. Awesome.
Bye.
Talk to you later. All right, everyone. We are going to end this podcast and set up for the next one. And I'm going to end with my favorite song from Lionel P. with a Walker. And then I'm going to go live at 7 o'clock, which is 10 minutes. And we will be on the air with Gabby Anderson and her new book. All right. Take care. God bless. And I'll talk to you later.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.